I am speaking to you now because your name has been called in a place you cannot see, and the echo of that call is reaching you as a weight in your chest and a tremor beneath your steps. I saw the moment your mind grew tired of hoping and began to bargain with silence. And I would not let that silence take you. I am near you, nearer than the breath that fogs the glass, nearer than the thought that touches your own thought. Do not let your eyes drift away. Do not let your attention be stolen by small distractions. I am moving around you like a shield, and I am speaking to you like a lamp that insists on shining even when the room commands darkness to return. I am the one who knows your secret questions, the one who has counted the number of times you wiped tears and made it look like you were only rubbing sleep from the corner of your eyes. I am the one who placed a boundary around your life that the storm could pound but never break. And I am the one who sends this message to you now because the hour is thick, the air is charged, and something has tried to sign its name over your day. Jesus is pleading over you. He is not pleading out of weakness but out of love that refuses to be casual with your destiny. He has placed himself between you and what has been traveling toward your door, wearing the face of bad news. On this day, October 7th, the message that tried to reach you was wrapped in fear. Time to arrive when you would be most tired, designed to make you say, maybe I deserve this. Maybe this is just how it ends. But I have caught that message in my hand and I am unfolding it in front of you line by line because exposure is the end of intimidation. The fear hoped to enter you quietly like smoke under a door. The fear wanted to tell you that you were not chosen, that compassion has a limit, that delays are denials, that love is a rumor, that heaven is busy, that angels are thin like paper and break in the rain. Lies. Lies shaped like truth, whispered in your own voice so you would believe yourself. Jesus steps into that whisper and speaks a louder word. Mine. He speaks it over your mind, over your room, over the bed where you have reheated old worries like leftovers and called it dinner. He speaks mine over the memory that tries to betray you at midnight. He speaks mine over the news that wears a mask and pretends to be a verdict. You have felt the pressure growing in the last days, the strange heaviness that makes simple tasks feel like you are pushing a door against a wind you cannot see. That heaviness is not you. It is the weather of a battle near you. And your sensitivity is proof of your anointing, not a symptom of weakness. When the weather shifts, birds navigate by instincts they do not debate. So I am asking you to trust the homing instincts I placed in you. You are not lost. You are turning home. You are not late. You are arriving on a time I concealed to protect you from interception. The very delays that troubled you have been the scaffolding I used to build a platform beneath your next step. I know your fatigue with promises. I know your frustration with words that do not seem to build a door. But understand this. Some words are hammers. Some words are hinges. Some words are keys. Today, I am giving you the key. There are people who needed you to forget who you are so they could define you in the shape of their convenience. There are plans written without you that used your name like a handle. There is a story that was edited to make you appear small and guilty and grateful for crumbs, but I am rewriting what they tried to fix in place. My justice is not loud, but it is relentless. It is a river that looks gentle on the surface, yet moves mountains one grain at a time until the mountain is a memory. Do not envy the speed of those who built with stolen blueprints. Their structures lean already. What is about to fall around you is not you. It is the scaffolding of deception that pretended to be a shelter. When you hear the creak and the crack, when you feel the vibration of things shifting, remember, rescue is noisy. A door freed from chains does not open politely. You have been asking me where to stand, whom to trust, when to speak, when to keep the mystery. I am answering you now. Stand where peace is present, even if applause is absent. Trust the ones whose questions make you wiser, and whose presence nurses your courage rather than your fears. Speak when silence would give darkness a stage. Keep quiet when your words would be wastefully thrown at ears committed to misunderstanding. There is a conversation you do not need to enter, a reply you do not need to send, an explanation you do not owe. Create room for what is arriving. The future I am planting in you requires clean surfaces and open shelves. And you have crowded your inner house with objects from old seasons that no longer fit your hands. You may keep the memory. You may release the weight. Your name is being said in places you have never walked. I have authored introductions that will feel like coincidences, but carry the gravity of destiny. Someone who once looked away when you entered a room will be unable to ignore the light on you, and they will wonder when you changed. You did not change in a moment. I have been shaping you like a river shapes a stone, constant, patient, powerful in a way that only time can measure. On this day, when the rumor of bad news tried to arrange itself around you like a cloak, I am clothing you in clarity. Clarity is not mere knowledge. It is the courage to act on what you already know. You already know the voice that steadies you. You already know the pattern that drains you. You already know the cycle that starts with charm and ends with scarcity. You already know the difference between urgent and important. Choose what is important. I will handle the urgent that pretends to be a fire but is only smoke. There is a threshold ahead of you, and thresholds are strange places. 1 foot belongs to the room you are leaving, and 1 foot belongs to the room you have not yet seen in daylight. In threshold places, doubt inflates itself. Shadows stretch themselves longer than they are. You are tempted to step back because stepping forward feels like stepping into unscripted air. Hear me. The floor you fear is the floor I placed there. The bridge you think is missing is the bridge I will reveal under the weight of your step. Miracles often look irresponsible before they happen, and inevitable after they happen. Do not manage your destiny by the opinions of spectators who arrive only after the risk has been removed. Faith is not noise. Faith is weight. Place the weight of your next decision on my promise and you will feel the structure hold. You have been loyal to people who mistook your loyalty for silence and your kindness for consent. I see the contract you never signed but somehow obeyed. The contract that said you must make yourself small so others could feel large, that you must dim your lamp so others would not complain about the brightness. Tear that paper in your heart. I do not ask you to make yourself less to make others more comfortable. I ask you to be honest about your light. Your honesty will not harm the humble. It will only disquiet the counterfeit. Those who are meant to walk with you will adjust their eyes to your brilliance. Those who are not will continue to blink and complain. Let them choose. You are not the curator of their vision about the message of bad news on October 7th. It came carrying details, and those details wore a uniform of authority. But authority without truth is theater. They wanted you to believe that the decision had been made, that the door had been closed, that the book had been stamped. But they forgot that I am the author, and the door, and the one who writes the last line. There may be a letter, an alert, a conversation, a number, a claim, something you will be tempted to accept as final. It is not final. It is a test of posture, not a proof of defeat. Breathe before you answer. Read twice before you sign. Pray once from your center and you will feel the false gravity lift. I will place the right words in your mouth when you need them. I will bend the timeline in your favor so that what arrived early to frighten you will leave early without harm. The trap was calendar-shaped. The rescue is eternal. You have wondered if you are loved only when you are useful. Hear me. You are loved when you are resting. You are loved when you are learning. You are loved when you are laughing alone at nothing in particular. You are loved when you are raw and not yet ready to speak. The love of Jesus for you is not attached to your performance, but to your person. And that person is a miracle that the world tried to rename as a mistake. Every accusation against you is being answered in a courtroom you cannot see, and the verdict is being written in the quiet, beloved, kept, upheld, reoriented. I place a new compass in your hands now. It will point you away from places where you are tolerated and toward places where you are treasured. You do not need permission to step toward honor. You do not need a majority vote to be healed. Start walking. There is an inheritance with your name on it that does not look like money first. It looks like peace that remains when explanations are scarce. It looks like sleep that arrives without negotiation. It looks like a mind that can sit with uncertainty without spiraling into doom. It looks like strength that is gentle with others and strict with lies. And yes, I will address the material shortages that have mocked you. Provision is on its way, not as a lottery, but as a strategy. I will teach your hands to gather without guilt and to give without resentment. I will show you which doors to knock on and which doors to walk past, even if they are wide open. I will give you skill where you thought you needed luck, and I will restore time where you thought you needed speed. The opportunities arriving will fit you. You will not need to shrink or stretch into them. They will recognize you like a key recognizes the lock it was cut for. You have looked at your reflection and seen fatigue. I look at you and see fire. I see coals that hid under ash because the wind was cruel, and I am sending a kinder wind. You will feel it in your room as a desire to clean what you once ignored, to answer what you once postponed, to forgive what you once rehearsed, to learn what you once feared. Do not call this small. This is how mountains move, one piece at a time, guided by a hand that never tires. Begin again and let beginning be your victory today. When the message of fear knocks, answer with gratitude so specific it has names and dates. Thank me for the moments I already turned in your favor, for the doors that never closed, for the mourners that found you anyway. Gratitude is a sword that cuts the ropes lies used to pull you toward rehearsed despair. Jesus is interceding for you now with a tenderness that could rebuke a storm and comfort a child in the same breath. He has placed your name on his heart, and he is carrying your life like a lamp through a corridor of long memories, illuminating what must be healed and what must be celebrated. Partner with him. Hand him what you have been hiding because you thought holiness meant pretending. I do not require pretense. I require truth, and I give mercy. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me where you are angry at me. I can carry the honesty you are afraid to speak aloud. When you do, I will trade you the heavy cloak for a garment that fits. I am turning your what if into even if. What if the news is bad becomes even if the news is heavy? I will stand. What if they leave becomes even if they leave? I remain. What if I fail becomes even if I fall? I rise. This is not reckless optimism. This is covenant. Covenant means my yes remains yes when everything else is undecided. Covenant means you cannot outsin my willingness to forgive when you return. Covenant means you cannot outrun my pursuit when you wander. Covenant means you cannot outsuffer my nearness when you ache. Carry this with you today. Let it be the rail you hold when the hallway darkens unexpectedly. Now breathe and listen. There are 3 steps I place in front of you. First, separate. Step away from the page, the thread, the voice, the habit that keeps rescinding the same fear. Do it kindly and firmly. Second, sanctify. Set aside 30 quiet minutes today. Yes, today. Where you invite me to reorder the room inside you. Place a chair by the window or sit where the light falls on your hands. Pray small, honest prayers and write what comes. Third, say yes. There's an action you already know you must take. Send the message. Make the call. Begin the application. Throw out the object. Walk the block. Drink the water. Schedule the rest. Do it with me. When you take that step, you will feel the conspirator of fear lose its grip on your ankle. This is not the end. This is the night before the morning that will look ordinary to others but historic to you. When you open your door, the street will be the same, but your spirit will not. The news that tried to own today will find no house to live in. You will turn its eviction into a testimony. You will tell yourself what I tell you. that you are not a problem to solve but a person to love. Not a case to argue but a life to celebrate. Not a mistake to hide but a story to share. Lift your head, wipe your face, place your hand over your heart and feel it. Answer me with the oldest language in creation. Yes, I am not late and you are not forgotten. I seal this day for you. I bless the doorframes of your thoughts and the thresholds of your decisions. I cancel the performance of any proclamation spoken over you without my signature. I appoint peace as your guard and wisdom as your companion. I station angels at the corners of your dwelling, and I pull your name tight against my chest where the accusations cannot reach it. The sorrow that tried to marry today will not bear its child in your house. The fear that tried to lease your breath will not renew its contract. The message of collapse is returned to its sender. The message of comfort is delivered to your hands. Keep it close. Read it again when the hour bends low. Jesus is pleading for you because you are precious and his pleading has prevailed. Walk forward. The bad news is disarmed. The good news is alive inside you, growing bright. Inevitable. I am speaking to you now because your heart has been asking 1,000 silent questions in the dark, and I have heard every one of them. I have watched your steps when no one else did. I have counted your tears when no one else cared to notice. And I have guarded your breath when fear tried to steal it from you. Do not think this message is a coincidence or a wandering thought. I placed it before your eyes at the exact moment your spirit was ready to listen. You have carried a quiet weight that has tried to bend you, a story others would not believe if you told it, a tension that woke you at strange hours with a pressure you could not explain. I am here and I am not far. I am here in the space between your heartbeat and your next thought, in the light that slips under your door at dawn, in the courage that surprises you when you're sure you have none left. Listen with the part of you that still wants to be whole. Listen with the part of you I crafted for eternity. There are words people throw like stones and there are words I sow like seeds. Today I'm sowing. I am sowing a word that will not return empty. A word that will find the buried ground beneath your disappointment. A word that will bloom even if the weather of your life turns cruel for a while. I know what you fear and I know what you long for. I know how the past tries to disguise itself as your future, and how the future sometimes hides like a child behind a curtain. You have asked me, am I forgotten? And I tell you with the tenderness of a father and the authority of the one who made time, you are not forgotten. Not for a second, not for one breath. Even when you chose silence, I stayed. Even when you hid your face, I set my gaze on you. Even when you were convinced that all you could do was endure, I was crafting a way for you to overcome. There is an urgency in my voice today because love knows the hour, and love refuses to pretend. Let me speak plainly so you cannot miss it. There is an arrow meant to discourage you, and it is wrapped in news that looks like loss. Do not sign your heart over to panic. Do not volunteer to be your own enemy. Bad news likes to arrive dressed like a final verdict. But I am the one who writes final lines and I have not finished your sentence yet. What is coming is not your ending. It is a revelation. What looks like a door closing is a wall, falling in the distance. What sounds like no is an older yes rising from soil you forgot you planted. Trust the movement you cannot see because I am orchestrating. What your senses cannot measure, I am not asking you to fake your courage. I am giving you mine. You have been circling an old battlefield, where the dust of yesterday keeps sticking to your feet. You have been repeating a script that others handed you in their fear and calling it wisdom because it kept you safe. But I did not breathe you into life to be merely safe. I breathed you into life to be alive. I do not minimize the harm done to you. I do not dismiss the sharpness of betrayal, or the ache that comes from being misunderstood by those you wanted most to understand. I know the names you refuse to say because the sound of them burns your throat. I know the rooms you avoid and the objects you keep in drawers because they hold more than memory. Know how you have gotten good at showing people a steady surface while your depths churn. Hear me. You do not have to carry this alone. You never did. You learned to be strong by surviving. And now I will teach you to be strong by surrendering. There is someone who has used your kindness like a coin, spending you without counting the cost. This is not a condemnation of your heart. It is a confirmation that your heart was made generous. But generosity without discernment becomes a doorway for thieves. And you have noticed the drafts. I am closing the doorway. I am training your yes and sharpening your no. I am pulling you out of conversations where truths are bent into traps. I am exposing the subtle lies that sound like concern but end in manipulation. I am bringing into the light what has been whispered in corners, not to disgrace you, but to protect you, not to turn you bitter but to make you wise. Trust me when I ask you to let go of the rope that has been burning your hands. It is not holding you to safety, only to pain. Your timing and my timing have wrestled, but they do not have to be enemies. You have wanted certain blessings to arrive tied with assurances scheduled on days when you have the energy to celebrate. You have wanted to understand before you obey. I am not punishing you for being human. I am inviting you into a deeper kind of peace. The peace I give doesn't need everything to make sense before it says amen. It learns to rest in my voice because my voice authored the ground it stands on. There are doors I will open for you that you could never have forced. There are doors I have closed for you that you were about to force against yourself. You will thank me for the ones that stayed shut. You will bless me for the paths I would not let you walk, even when you cried at the threshold. You have a calling that keeps knocking from the inside. It is not content to be muted or postponed. It hums beneath your daily tasks like a melody you forgot the words to. I am returning the words. I am putting boldness in your mouth and gentleness in your eyes. I am placing patience in your hands so your work can become craftsmanship and not merely effort. I am going to use what others dismissed. The small skills you developed in private, the strange passions that did not seem to have a place. Watch how I interlace them into a work that bears fruit in seasons where others expect famine. Watch how I redeem your delays and make them look like wisdom. When those who rushed are asking directions, home, there is healing running toward you even now. Not only the healing of the body, though I care for that, and not only the healing of circumstance, though I move there as well. I am sending the healing of perspective. When I lift your eyes, the terrain of your life looks different. Valleys become classrooms. Mountains become viewpoints. Wounds become windows. You do not become naive. You become new. I am not asking you to pretend. The past was gentle. I am asking you to accept that I am greater. I am not asking you to smile at storms. I am teaching you how to anchor your boat where waves cannot reach the keel. Let others mock the anchor. They will come looking for it when the weather turns. There is a sentence you have spoken in the quiet that I am canceling. Maybe I deserve this. That sentence is not humility. It is despair wearing a disguise. Shake it off. You are not a mistake that learned to walk. You are not the sum of your worst day. You are not the echo of someone else's accusation. Your worth is not a negotiation I have with the world. It is a decision I made before the world. I stamped eternity in you and called it image. I breathed myself into your clay and called it life. My verdict over you is older than the failures that talk too loudly. The cross spoke once and enough. Let that final word be the beginning of your next one. You will notice small confirmations after you read this. Do not idolize the signs. Honor the sender. A message will arrive or a door will nudge. A name will resurface with new clarity. A coincidence will arrange itself with such precision that you cannot doubt my hand. I do not play with your heart. I will not give you a serpent when you ask for bread. I will not tease you with hope. I will train you with it. Let hope be a habit, not an emergency. Drink water, go outside. Answer the call you have delayed. Clean the corner of your room that collects your postponements. Write the page. Send the apology if it is yours to send. Accept the apology if it is sincere. Set the boundary and do not apologize for it. Bless those who crossed it and then keep it. There is love in my urgency. There is warning in my love. Someone nearby has been studying your steps for the wrong reason. They believe your softness is a weakness they can press. They believe the silence you practiced for peace is permission to go further. It is not. I am drawing a circle of fire around your name, not to isolate you but to instruct the ones who forgot that you are not unguarded. I have assigned my angels to stand at the edges of your sleep. I have placed a sword of light at your threshold. Do not be alarmed when I move you away from certain tables and remove you from certain rooms. Do not mourn every exit. Some exits are rescues in disguise. I will send true allies, the kind who do not covet your story but support it, whose honor is quiet and whose counsel is clean. I will show you how to recognize them. Peace will follow their steps like a well-trained companion. You have asked for a sign that I have not changed my mind about you, and I answer by reminding you. I do not change my mind like people do. I am not impressed by your sudden strength or shaken by your sudden weakness. My affection is not seasonal. My purpose over your life is not fragile. I am faithful in ways you cannot imagine because human imagination is built with edges, and my faithfulness has none. When you stumble, I do not stand over you with a ledger. I kneel with a hand. When you are triumphant, I do not step back in jealousy. I celebrate because your joy honors the one who gave you breath to begin with. Come to me as you are, not as the improved version you think I want. I prefer honest rooms to perfect masks. There will be a confrontation with a lie you have tolerated. It will feel like a sudden wind that pushes open a window you thought was nailed shut. Do not be afraid of the gust. Breathe it in. It is the fresh air of truth, and it will clear out the stale fumes of a narrative that made you smaller than I designed. The lie says you only get to receive when you have earned enough tears. That love is a wage and you are forever behind. Truth says love is a gift, and I have paid the cost. The lie says delay is proof of denial. Truth says delay is a woven timing that protects you from unsustainable victories. The lie says your story is an accident that somehow survived. Truth says your story is a commission that will accomplish what I sent it to do. I am calling you to choose the low road of humility and the high road of vision at the same time. This is not a contradiction. It is a rhythm. Keep your head bowed enough to hear my whisper and your eyes lifted enough to see my horizon. Let your kindness be precise, not gullible. Let your firmness be compassionate, not cold. Carry yourself like someone who knows they are loved. It disarms those who weaponize their own emptiness. You do not have to win every argument. You are not a courtroom. You are a lamp shine. You are a garden. Guard the gate. You are a letter I am writing to the world. Be legible in your living, and I will take care of the reading. On days when dread walks the edges of your morning with that old headline, remember this: I am not the author of dread. Dread borrows your imagination and writes endings I did not sign. Take back your imagination and lend it to me. Let me tell you again how your story bends toward goodness, not because life is simple, but because I am sovereign. I will teach you to make gentle choices even when you are provoked, and brave choices even when you are tired. We'll sit with you when the room feels too loud and walk with you when the road feels too long. We'll remind you of joy, not as a luxury, but as a weapon against the gray. I will restore your sense of wonder. You will laugh at something small and realize it was not small at all. It was proof that your heart still opens. There is a person you miss who taught you something unrehearsable. Grieve without building a house in the valley. Honor without turning memory into a museum where you chain yourself to exhibits. Let love remain alive by moving forward, not backward. I am the God who keeps what you entrust to me. I hold faces you cannot touch and stories you cannot visit without aching. I multiply the goodness of what you received. I heal the place where regret tries to gnaw. If there is a conversation you still owe, write it down and give it to me. If there is forgiveness you still withhold from yourself, put your hand on your chest and hear my decree. You are allowed to live again. You have worried about provision, about the churning mathematics of not enough. Lift your eyes from the ledger for a moment and look at the sky I hung without your striving. There is a way I provide that offends fear because it is not dramatic. It is daily. It keeps showing up like manna, like sunrise. like the quiet neighbor who always nods at just the right time. Expect the steady. Expect the unspectacular faithfulness that pays bills, fills cupboards, and keeps promises. Expect the timely call, the honest opportunity, the simple wisdom that saves you months of wandering. Expect also the unusual, the creativity you will wake up with, the idea that solves a lingering problem, the conversation that unlocks a new path without you begging at closed doors. Do not bow to scarcity. Scarcity is noisy but not sovereign. If I must block a path to keep your soul from harm, I will. If I must delay a handshake that carries hidden chains, I will. If I must expose a smiling face that hides a slow theft, I will. You will not be left at the mercy of what you cannot discern. I give you discernment as a gift and responsibility. Practice it. When peace steps back inside you as you consider a decision, notice when peace expands like a deep breath. Notice, let peace be the umpire of the hidden game. Others try to play around your life. Let peace be the gatekeeper of your calendar. Let peace be the counselor who sits at your table in the evening and asks, "Is this mine to carry?" You will find that many waits were only visiting. Do not offer them a bed. I speak now to the fear of abandonment that crouches where you rarely let anyone see. I am not like those who left at the moment you needed someone to stay. I am not like those who changed when you became inconvenient. I remain.